What's up? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, let's talk about how to program the Roland TR-08. Don't need to go into the background. This is strictly about programming beats into it, how to put notes on the ear, how to copy patterns, and how to clear them off, right? So right now, I hold down bank. And as I hold down bank, I press say 10, right? Hold down bank, press 10, press it again. And now I got sort of like a clear slate, right? And so what I got to do first now is I got to select the pattern. So I'll go to say pattern 1, right? No information on there. So there's a couple ways you can program notes on there. To program notes on there, you can program them by lights by making sure you're selected to part 1, or you can press them in right there. So right now I'll just program some notes right there, right? Okay. And what you can also do is add it in by the tab button. Now I got to make sure that my pattern right is in part 1, and now I'll just hit that tab and now I can do that. I could still use this. And a cool trick is say if you're turning your sounds on here, you can't see where it's going. Just look on here. That way you don't have to really squint at this. So I like to just use this and not be able to see the knob. And just hold that down. Just add some more. Say I want to add a little clap. Maybe add some random cowbells. Right. So now we have a rhythm right there. So in this scenario, let's say I want to clear that kick drum while it's running, right? Typically, if I hit pattern clear, I'm going to clear the whole pattern right there if I turn this to planar clear, or if I go to part 1, right? But instead, what I could do is I can select the bass drum right here, hold down the bank tempo and shuffle button, hold that down, and now the kick drum is getting cleared in real time. Right? Oh, I don't like that. Clear right there. So hold down the bank button and the clear button to clear buttons, to clear notes. Right? So that's a cool way to do that. Now let's talk about copying patterns. So in every pattern, you have 2 parts and you have an A and a B. And right now we're only utilizing pattern part A and part 1, which gives us 16 steps. So off the rip, you cannot copy a part 1 to part 2, but you can copy pattern A to pattern B inside of pattern 1. That's inside of bank 10. Notice again, when I hold down that button there, I know that I'm on bank 10. Each bank contains 12 sequences plus 4 fill-ins, right? So let's do a copy. And I'm going to hold down the tap button, and I'm going to go A to B or B to A. So in this case, I want A to go to B. I do that, hit this button right here, stop to execute it. It did it. So now, when I set this pattern variation to A, B, and B, right? So it's cycling through A and B right now. So if I want that cymbal to come in on the first part, cymbal right there, 2, right? So I programmed it on the wrong side. So make sure you come back to the other part. B. Right. And just still put it over there. That's okay. I messed up. Right. Sometimes it can get a little confusing. But from back there, And this is still only on part 1. So in essence, you can get up to 64 steps. So let's see if we can kind of add a little bit more variation with the kick drum. So I'm going to go with that kick drum and just kind of feel that out. So I'm going to let this ride, but I'm going to clear out the bass drum. Remember, to clear out notes, you hold down the bank button and then press the clear button. So that's a good, easy way to clear out just an instrument or just a sound and not the whole pattern. So let's see what happens when I tap. Right. That's some more. Right. And I find it easier to kind of tap that note in instead of just doing all the things right there. But sometimes maybe you just want to add like a hi-hat, just go all over the place. And now you can do this, clear it in there. This is typically what a lot of people do. But I have to wait for it to come over here. Now I got both. Well, let's say I want to clear those notes out. Hold down the bass button. And we're clearing out all those notes in real time. All right. And I want to put some notes back in. You can tap them in manually while I do this. Right. So that's a pattern going from A to B. We talked about clearing patterns and all that good stuff. So let's go further. And we're going to clear the whole pattern just like that. You got to be careful. When you do that, everything's cleared out. But we're going to add a second part. We're going to stay in A. And we're going to add a second part. Right. So in this case, you can program between A and first part and second part by selecting your part selection right here at this knob. And now I'm going to hold down the note clear button and select 16. This tells the drum machine that we want the additional 16 steps added to part 2. So now when it cycles, it's going to cycle right here between parts 1 and 2 indicated here. Right? So now if I just want to focus on part 1 while it's cycling between part 2, I will always be focusing and programming on part 1. So now I'm just adding 4 hats on the drums. And I'll always be programming that. So now I'm clicking the second part. I'm adding more hi-hats to it. 2. Right. And now I can select the second part. Maybe I want to add a little bit of snare. I know where that's at manually, so I can program it in. And I'm just, and when I'm doing this, I'm just switching between part 1 and part 2. All right, so let's say I want to copy that, these 42 steps onto pattern B. That's easy. We can just go copy, turn that A to B, execute. Now we have a part 2. And then A part 1, the A part 2. So in this scenario right here, if I want to program a cymbal, I could do that. So it's always on that first, right there. All right. Now let's hear it go right there. So we got 1, 2, 3. Wait. Got to keep it on this. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. So that's live right there. But you have to be mindful of which part you're programming to so that you know where you're going on. Right? Just let it cycle through. So that's what happens when you start getting to more complicated. If I want to add more to it, I can program that. But I got to pay attention to which part, because you can't program to the second part while this is set on the part 1. So I wait for it to come around, and I'll see if I can do this in real time. 1. Now we're back. And I can really do that. But let's say I don't like anything going off the kick, so I can make sure I select the bass drum, select your instrument you want to clear in real time. All right. Hold down bank, and you got to pay attention to which part you're clearing out on. So you can get kind of a little laborious here. Let's see if I can do it. And kick. Okay, so it still follows. So erase follows. That's good to know. Erase follows the part, but programming notes doesn't follow that. So that's something to keep in mind. Erase follows playback position, but programming doesn't follow playback position. It follows, well, it's half. It follows your A and B selection, but it's not follow your part selection, which is indicated here. So I'm gonna go. Now let's see. See, it did. Oh, it took it. So I stand corrected. Recording follows part 1 and part 2, even though you select this part in there. So the position of the sequence follows your recording and follows your tap playing right there. So you just follow it through. So that's cool to know. And that's how you do that there. And if you want to clear all that out, you can clear that out. So let's talk about muting. I forget the shortcut for soloing, but we're just going to show you muting real quick. And so muting is a shortcut between these right here. And I think, okay, I remember it now. So if you want to mute an instrument, you have to hold down the bass button, then hold down the trigger out button right here. You see mute there. And then all of these light up under here. I know it's kind of hard to see it, but all these instruments light up here. So if I want to mute the kick drum, I can do that. Or I can switch over to solo. And now you can solo your instrument. Turn it on and off like you would a mixing console. So that's how to program a Roland TR-08 drum synthesizer. Really fun. It's cool when you're able to use it and create larger patterns like that on the fly. So I hope this helps out. Just something to do that. I'm going to see if I could put the written instructions on the screen to make it easier to follow. Because I haven't messed with this in a while. So if you like this type of content, let me know what you think. Talk to you later.